Hello there, folks. My name is WizkidAce, and we're gonna try to answer the question, what is Maneater? Welcome to my show, the What Is series, where we try to look at a game and try to answer what it is. That's basically in the title. So, Maneater. Maneater is, best described by themselves as a shark RPG. Developed by Tripwire Interactive, also published by Tripwire Interactive, currently on Epic Games, soon to hit Steam, for a retail price of $40 or your regional equivalent. So what is this game? This is a game where you basically play as a shark. It advertises itself as a shark RPG. I would say it's more like a shark action adventure games, a la Saint Rose 4, GTA. Semi/slash basically an open world adventure game where you can play as a shark, eat people, and do a lot of side quests like explore, all that stuff. Of course, you can't steal cars or shoot because you're a shark, but you can do basically everything else. So we're gonna look at the settings menu briefly. The settings menu is pretty bare bones. Not bare bones, but it's pretty simple. It's got what it needs. It's got the subtitles, pop-up, controller inversions. Controls, you cannot rebind your controller, but it does provide you 3 different layouts to cycle from. Video settings could be better. You can turn off the anti-aliasing, unfortunately. And also, it doesn't tell you what exactly each setting is. Like, it just says high, medium, low, all that stuff. It'd be nice if it told you what exactly, how much RAM, GPU RAM it was utilizing, or what kind of post-processing it's using, or what kind of VSync it's using. Right now, it's just tells you like the frame rate to which it's going to sync to. So if you have a monitor that supports more than 60 frames per second, like I do, currently I'm on a 144 frames per second monitor, it's preferable to turn that thing off. Nope, not confirming that. As for audio, it's got audio sliders basically for each and every sound you might hear. You got the narrator volume, dialogue volume, sound effects volume, music and master volume. All good. And you got the credits. The game doesn't have a lot of accessibility options. It doesn't seem to have a colorblind mode. It doesn't seem to be having an advanced subtitle closed caption mode for people with hearing issues. So if that is a turn off for you, that might become a issue. So just to keep in mind. But then again, it is underwater, and the text does pop up over enemies, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue. But it'd be nice if accessibility issues were provided. Well, let's just jump right into the game. Let's see now. So the game starts off as you playing a mama shark, and you're part of this weird TV show called the Maneater.
Vegetation salinity zones in this area include fresh marsh, intermediate marsh, brackish marsh, and saline marsh. The resilient bull shark is able to navigate all of them with ease.
Well, thank you, narrator. If you guys could recognize that, that is Jerry from Rick and Morty. Unfortunately, they don't really use him a lot. He's in there, and he does provide interesting quips and narration. Usually repeats the same thing over and over again. Sometimes he is kind of funny. I must admit, I did chuckle a couple of times, but he is underused. We will discuss those issues later. So, the start of the game, you play as the mama shark. I will play the clip right now.
Let's get her up on deck, huh?
On board the Cajun Queen, Scaly Pete looks over the catch of the day.
Yeah, this my daddy's iron, all right. But this ain't the shark. Not the one I was looking for.
How do you know?
How I know? Not big enough. This look like a mega to you? here. She's on for me. Hello! How your mama in there?
Whoa! Well, why'd you do that?
So I can identify her next time I see her. When I spear her.
The tiny pup responds with an instinct for survival.
You maybe want to turn off that camera.
Scaly Pete over there was the big bad guy. He kills your mama. You're a baby shark. Do 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 do. I'm contractually obligated to make that sound whenever I hear the words baby shark. So you start off a tiny baby shark, as you can see, and you're level 1. And you go around eating tiny fishies so that you can grow big and strong and take revenge on your mama by eating up Scaly Pete. So you can explore. You can unlock vistas. Oh, look, it's an underwater cemetery. You can bite with the right trigger. You can lunge and swim faster with the left trigger. You can lock on with the right stick. And, well, you can bite. You can tail whip. Oh, wait, I don't have tail whip. We'll show you the gameplay. But basically, start off as a baby shark. And then you grow stronger and stronger. The map is pretty big. It's divided off into multiple sections, and as you grow stronger, level up, get bigger, and progress through the story, you unlock more sections to explore. There isn't much of a loading screen. Sometimes you might pop into a loading screen when you jump between two areas too fast. I am running this on an SSD, so your mileage might vary. But yeah, it does the transitions pretty seamlessly by and large. You might just encounter it when you just jump over from one area to another pretty fast. Other than that, yeah, you have collectibles, you have vistas to see, you have grates to break, which are basically the way the game manages access to different levels. It puts in grates that you can only break if you're of the particular age. Basically, your levels kind of age as you grow bigger and stronger and level up. You go from a pup at level 1 all the way to level 30, where you are basically a megalodon, like an ancient giant shark. Alright then, let's just go into the actual game. Just wanted to show you what the game starts off as. Everybody wants to be a baby shark. And then, when you grow big and strong, you can be a giant mega shark, which I can show you as soon as this thing finishes loading. Loading is pretty short. It doesn't take a long time to load into the game, but I am on an SSD, so that is to be considered. Okay, once you've reached level 30 and gone all strong and big, you become this giant monstrosity, a megalodon. Yeah, that thing looks nothing like the baby pup that you were back in the day. Right. And then you can change your teeth. I have everything unlocked so I can show you what's up. No spoilers really. This is basic stuff. You can have shadow teeth, bioelectric teeth to zap people, and you can have bone teeth. Whatever. This is what Yahtzee was talking about, the shadow teeth in his zero punctuation for Maneater. When you bite stuff, you heal up, which kind of makes the other teeth kind of pointless to have. So yeah, because it just heals you whenever you attack stuff. You can equip different organs to increase your stats and stuff. You can become amphibious, increases land speed by 50% and survival time on the land. You can have stronger muscles to boost your speed and stronger cartilage to reduce damage and all that good stuff. You can change your tails, you can change your bodies, you can change your fins, and you can also change your head. I'll just show you some of the upgrades I have. You can become from a bony shark to an electric shark that basically zaps people. For those of you wondering, is this Pokemon? Is this a Pokemon? Is this Kyogre? Yeah, basically you become a Pokemon by the end of the game. A legendary Pokemon. Look, I can basically... My dodge becomes an electric zap. I can shoot lightning underwater somehow. Yeah, you can do some goofy stuff with the upgrades. For now, I'll go back to being a bone shark because I like being a bone shark. You can also be a shadow shark that shoots poison at people. And your upgrades actually change as you level them up. So you can level each upgrade up again. This is tier 5, so it starts at tier 1 with the Y button on an upgradable. Oh yeah, so you can see this. I can upgrade abilities like this, and there you go. I've upgraded some random thing that I'm not gonna use. So yeah, you can become a shadow shark. If I can only change these fins, there you go. Which is a cool looking shark. So your late game upgrades, there aren't plenty of them. You can only choose between basically 3 classes, either the bone build, the poison build, or the bioelectric build. Gonna go back to the snow build because it makes you basically immune to all damage. Become one tanky ass shark. Alrighty then. So as you can see, I have every area unlocked. Each area has its own set of collectibles, and each area also has, well, basically a safe house that you can go to. You can fast travel between these safe houses. I am in one of those safe houses. I mean, I'm gonna call it a safe house. The game calls itself calls this a grotto, that the shark can go and upgrade its abilities and do all of those things. Also fast travel, as I mentioned. But this basically functions as a safe house if you guys played Saints Row or any of the GTA games. Yeah, and then once you collect a set number of collectibles, you can do like number plates. You can randomly find number plates around the map. You can have those vistas, which we will go through. There are some nice hidden Easter eggs. Not so hidden, but there's a good number of Easter eggs. You can go to SpongeBob's house, which we will visit later. You can collect these caches of nutrients. You upgrade your abilities using nutrients that are on the top right. You have fat, minerals, radioactive shit, and protein, and you use these to upgrade your abilities. Of course, I have a shit ton of those material because the game does give you a shit ton. You don't have to like actually farm to upgrade your abilities. The caches that you get, as you can see on these map, maybe I can show you one later. There are plenty around the map, so you don't have to actually grind in this game. And basically, you go from different area to area, collecting your stuff while progressing in the story. The game gives you a set number of tasks to do in the log, as you can see on the right. And once you finish that, you progress through the story. And every time you progress, you encounter Scaly Pete, the big bad guy, and you eat a body part. He is a very sad story. I will talk about Scaly Pete in a few minutes, but that's basically how you progress through the game. You can get more collectibles by eating humans, and when you eat humans, as I will show you, hunters will be sent after you. And once you eat enough hunters, kill enough hunters, your infamy rank goes up, and a mini boss shows up. And you kill the mini bosses to get unique abilities. As you can see, this guy gives you the bioelectric teeth. This one, the hardy ability, increasing your max HP. Mineral digestion, more minerals whenever you eat turtles and stuff. Bioelectric fins, and so on and so forth. The bosses are very, very, very easy, and they look kind of ugly. I will play a clip of what the bosses look like right over now.
The multi-million-dollar menace, Mama Maybell.
So yeah, they look pretty plastic and kind of bad, and they're also very, very easy to defeat. This game is not very challenging at all. It's very simple and very easy. All you do is bite and tail whip and pretend to be a Pokemon, and that's basically it. And then you collect collectibles, you beat Scaly Pete, and then you beat the game. The game's probably gonna take you about 10 hours if you're just focusing on the main objectives. Maybe it took me 16 to 16 hours ish to collect everything in the game. So if you're just focusing on the main objectives, it's not gonna take you that long. Alright, let's look at the graphics of the game. Now we're in the Gulf area of the game, because the water is much more clearer than the murky, toxic sludges of the swamp. So that's why we're going to look at stuff. So the water does feel like actual underwater, mostly. And there's some actually pretty vistas in the game underwater, even above water. So graphics-wise, the game is pretty decent. But of course, as I've said, the human models are very, very simplistic. And they look kind of incomplete. As I've shown you with the close-up on the boss, they look pretty bad. They look like they're straight out of a PlayStation 1 game. But then again, you're not gonna be focusing on the humans up close because they're just chow for you. You're just gonna go and eat them. And there are a lot of beautiful vistas underwater and overwater, which you can actually visit. The object detail on the ships and all of those things are pretty detailed. Like, look at this ship right over here. That's a pretty detailed ship. The textures are all around pretty good. The effects and the animations are pretty good. I do have a complaint for the way that the shark itself turns. It doesn't really flex its tail much. It's just a small pet peeve. It doesn't feel like I'm actually turning. It just feels like I'm a Pokemon just rotating within myself. See? Other than my pet peeve, the game visually is... The visual presentation for the game is pretty nice. You can interact with most of the objects, even the tiny tiny fish and tiny objects that are basically account for the clutter in the game. As you could see, those tiny fishes around me, they actually seem to be reacting to me. See? So it does improve the immersion and the feel of the game. So visually, the game does look decent. It's not mind-boggling or mind-breaking, but for an indie game about sharks, it's pretty good. If only the bosses and the humans looked a bit better up close, just the bosses, it'd be much better. Alright, the next thing is combat. The way combat works is that you can either fight boats, which I'm doing right over here, or you can fight underwater animals. Let's just look at the human combat first. You can slam the enemies with your right bumper, just what I did right now. And also you can just bite and eat them. You can also jump up and slam, which does some damage right over there. Or you can just, you know, tackle, bite the boat, eat it up, and do that. As you could see on the top right, when we were fighting those enemies, the threat meter, the threat gauge goes up, and once the gauge is full, well, hunters show up to get you because you were eating humans and being a very, very bad shark. And once humans show up, once the hunters show up, it gets much more interesting. You can actually die now. You can actually get killed by them. They will shoot you. They will throw dynamite into the water. They'll do whatever they can to kill you. Most of the game is very, very easy. The hunters are not a threat at all. Once you have your shadow teeth, which you get pretty early on in the game, you can basically keep eating them and healing up from the damage they're doing. Later on, the hunters can do a decent amount of damage and can be a threat. But by and large, the game is very, very simple. All you gotta do, especially if you're big enough, you just keep tackling them, and eventually they will die. But what happens is that once you've killed enough hunters, as I've said, the bosses show up, and then you can take down the bosses. Most of the bosses are they're the same. You can just jump in and bite them and kill them, and that's that. And halfway, through this, not halfway, but about after the 8th boss, I think the boss number 9 and 10, the mini bosses or the bosses, I don't know what to call them, but these special hunters, they are the only ones that are actually of any challenge. Once you reach that point, boats will come with these electric fields around them. They have this small Tesla coil underneath the boat that emits an electric field, and then you gotta take that thing down before you can actually kill the boat, because it's gonna constantly do damage to you. But yeah, you just do that, or you target a human, jump on top of the boat, heat the human, Munchy, 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 munchy. Also, the shark does have a special ability that you can use based on what body you have equipped. The bioelectric body, as I said, turns you into a living, well, it just turns you into an electric eel, and it will basically zap anything that you touch. The shadow body will just slow everything down, and the bone body that I have currently equipped just turns me into this battering ram, coats me in bone, and makes me very, very resistant to damage. So I don't have to care about the electricity. Yeah, screw you and your Tesla coil boat. I can just keep jumping and biting them and tackling them and take the boat down. And yes, and then once I have that down, I can eat the humans. Tasty, tasty, tasty. They will try to target you, and you can't evade out of the way with the right bumper before they lock onto you to avoid the damage. But yeah, they will just keep on coming. They will keep on coming. The more you kill them, they will just keep on coming. And that is basically the boat combat. You can press X to submerge, and then swim away. Now let's just look at some underwater combat. Hopefully, I can find some enemies to fight over here. Let's see.
The ocean is a source of life.
Once you avoid the hunters for long enough, they will just stop looking for you and disappear. Oh look, a perfect specimen for our underwater combat. That's a hammerhead shark. So combat basically underwater combat basically revolves around waiting for the enemy to attack you, to dodge. You just dodge their tackle, you bite them, and then you keep doing that. Or you can also tail whip them away. It's very simple. I am a level 30 Megalodon, so I do a lot of damage. Dodging and fighting them is much more of a issue when you're like a lower level enemy. Because now this hammerhead barely does any damage to me. It just tickles me. And then once you do that, you can also thrash an enemy by biting onto it and just wagging your body around. And then you can eat and heal up. As you can see, the underwater the combat in general is very simple, and because you're basically doing this for the entire amount of game, other than your special ability, the Y, which is just a pass, which is just an active that gives you a buff. The combat gets very, very stale and very, very boring. The other issue with the combat is that when you're either swimming close to the surface, fighting close to the surface, or in shallow waters, when you hit the surface, you will start automatically knifing, and you will lose contact with your enemy, and then you have to like press X, submerge again, lock onto your enemy, and then keep fighting. It gets really, really annoying. The submerge mechanic, as you can see over here, it's automatic. So if you're swimming close, you'll be like submerging in and out multiple times to fight an enemy, which gets really, really annoying. So that was the gameplay. Now, before we move on to the conclusion, I thought we should check out some of the interesting Easter eggs and vistas that I found around the game. And what's better to start off with other than the Fire Festival? They got Fire Festival in Maneater, and just like the real one, there's no one there except garbage. We also got kaiju stuff. You know that rift in the bottom of the Mariana Trench that you guys saw in like, what was that movie with the giant robots in? Yeah, that one. So we basically got an entrance point for Godzilla. Who knows, maybe it's a future DLC. Nah, that's probably not it. Pretty cool though. We also got an entire sunken city with underwater pyramids, statues, some kind of weird Greek buildings. Pretty cool stuff. They put in a lot of effort. Of course, you gotta go out of your way to explore this. You also got sunken boats. Ooh, spooky. Who knows how it got to the bottom of the sea? Well, obviously someone put it there. But we got those boats. We also got the mother of all sunken boats, the Titanic herself, in Maneater. Go check it out. Again, you gotta go out of your way. But it's there. Kinda cool. Then we got some bodies sleeping with the fishies. Seems to be some kind of mafia operation, throwing people down with like cinder blocks tied to their feet. And you can go munch on them. Mmm, tasty. One of my favorite places in Maneater. Alright, yep, it's kinda creepy. They put in a lot of effort. Well, the next one's my favorite. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Well, we got SpongeBob's pineapple abode right in Maneater. These are some of my favorite places. Well, I just thought I should show off some of those vistas and Easter eggs that I found. They're kind of goofy. There are a lot of them, and they obviously put in a lot of effort. Too bad they're kind of out of the way, out of the beaten path. You gotta go and explore a bit if you want to see these places. It'd be much more fun if you'd encounter them more naturally through gameplay. Well, let's go to the conclusion. Well, so let's discuss some of the issues the game has first. Side quests are boring. Most of the side quests involve either kill one of these special enemies, usually just like an alligator with a bow on its head or something like that. Kind of interesting, but it's still the same enemy. And most of the other missions involve just kill X amount of turtles, X amount of seals, or X amount of like mako sharks. It's pretty repetitive, and while the game is already short, it could be shorter still if these either unnecessary missions were removed or maybe replaced with something interesting. I mean, come on, you're a shark, you're playing as a shark, even a megalodon, I can't pronounce it, even a giant mega shark. So I would imagine there'd be a bunch of crazy missions you could put in. Who knows? Maybe you can relive the Jaws movie. But you don't got that. The gameplay is also very simple. The bosses and the enemies are not very challenging. Even the major bosses that you'll encounter later on, Scaly Pit himself, are fairly easy. It'll take you like a couple of minutes or couple of seconds maybe to beat them. So if there was a bit more challenge, I think the game would have been much better. So right now, the way the game is, it's okay. Again, if there was a bit more story, a bit less grind, and a bit better pacing, the game would have been much better, and I probably would have like called it a must-play, sort of. The way it is right now, it's an alright game. It's an okay game. Obviously, they put in a lot of effort. It's kind of disappointing because I was hyped up for this game. I wanted to be a shark. Too bad it doesn't live up to the hype, but at the same time, it doesn't mean this is a bad game. It's a fun game. It's got no DLC, microtransaction bullshit. It's a good single-player indie game. I don't know. I don't do numbers, but if I were, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 or something, or maybe 7, depends. But yeah, this is just a no-nonsense single-player game. It could be better, maybe even a bit cheaper. If the base price was $30, I think it'd be much easier to recommend. But the way it is, it's all right. And if this is what interests you, if you want to be a shark, go check it out. It's available on Epic for 40 USD, and will soon be available on Steam as well. I think it's also on PS4 and Xbox One as well. So folks, this is basically it. This is Maneater. I guess I've answered what is Maneater. See you on the next one? Maybe? Bye.